I'll this out to you when we're done. There we go. Okay, so now we're recording. The first thing that we're going to talk about is the email reminders. But Caroline, at some point, we're going to need to schedule some time to dial into your system so that instead of you're seeing me, I'm actually, or one of our technicians is going to be dialed into you. That way we can make sure that everything is set up properly, okay?
Yes, like we did last time.
Okay, great. Yeah, we'll be doing the same thing, where we can dial into you and make sure that it's set up. But first, right now anyway, let's talk about those email reminders and how we're going to get them working. The first thing that we need to do is we need to set up the online store. Excuse me, I apologize. That's when we get to online booking. That's not what we're talking about right now. Right now we're talking about email reminders. So we go to the Darcy Marketing. We're going to click on this, Darcy Marketing, and that brings up this window, the Setup Darcy window. In order for the appointment reminders and confirmations to work via email or text. Now, the text portion is the portion that our development team is still working on because we don't have text there, but I understand that we can. So we're trying to work with that. But right now, let's talk about the email confirmations. In every client file, there is in the lower left here, down here in the bottom, we have confirm text and confirm email. In order for your customer to be able to receive email reminders, you must have their email address in the email address field, and this button here that says confirm email must be blue. Okay, so for each one of them that's going to receive an email reminder or confirmation, email address, and this must be checked blue. So we'll go ahead and save that. And now we'll go back into Darcy. Now, when our clients have their email address and they're checked blue, that's one thing. But the next thing is we actually have to have the email confirmation set up. So we click on this button that says email confirmations, and we write the message that we want them to receive. And we get to use what are called variables so that each one of their emails is unique to them. The variables can be found under this little I here. This I stands for information. And when we click on that, it will give us a list of the variables that we can use. And this is exactly how they have to be written in for the variables to work. So open caret, capital C, capital F, closed caret, will insert the client's first name. Open caret, lowercase date, closed caret, will insert the appointment date, things like that. So these are the variables that you can use, and you write your message. So the message I wrote says, reminder for Caroline. Hi, Caroline. Remember that you have an appointment for let's say a back facial with Samantha on October 19th at 11 a.m. Please arrive 15 minutes early to online. So that's what I wrote. This is the way I set mine up. You can set yours up any way you want. Now, once you've written the message, you have to choose the number of reminders you want your customer to receive, 1, 2, 3, or 4. Now, I selected 2. If I chose 1, there would be just one option for me, how many days in advance of their appointment they're going to get this message. If I choose 2, then I get to choose 2 different times in advance. Now, the way this works is this. Because I've set this one up to go out 2 days in advance and the next one to go out 1 day in advance, the customer, 2 days before their appointment, will get this message, and it will have your logo, and it will have your social networking icons, but it will also have a big blue button that says, click here to confirm your appointment. Now, if your customer does not receive that email, or they ignore the email, or maybe it went to junk or something like that, so they never do anything, then they will get this next one that I have set up here a day before. However, if they get this one, and they do confirm their appointment, then the system will not bother sending out the second one.
Okay.
It's just like if you call them and they say, yes, I'm coming. You would not call them the next day. You've already confirmed them. And so that's the same way this works. So once you've set up when they're going to go out, then you can check this box that says active and accept, and then exit out of that. So now you've set up your confirmations. Again, it will only work for the customers that you have email addresses on and you have the button checked blue that says email confirmations. Then they'll receive those. Once we have text working for you, you'll be able to do the same thing with text. In the client file, you have to have confirmed text checked with blue. And you're limited to 140 characters for the text. So make sure that you have this line this is really important, reply Y to confirm. And the reason that that's so important is because that's the way the text works. They don't get a big blue button that says click here to confirm my appointment. Instead, to confirm their appointment, they would have reply Y to confirm. So when they receive a text like this, reminder for Caroline, Caroline, your appointment with Samantha is on October 19th at 11 a.m., reply Y to confirm. So the customer then would reply Y, hopefully, and it will mark the appointment confirmed right in your appointment book, just as if they had clicked the big blue button. Everything else here is exactly the same as an email. We'll go ahead and exit out of that. So once we've set up our email confirmations and maybe our text confirmations, then we need to check this box that says confirmations and campaigns and choose the time of day that you want these to go out. So I've checked this box, confirmations and campaigns, and I have 9:30 a.m. as the time that it's going to go out. So every day, Darcy is going to check to see whether or not your customers have appointments in 2 days or in 1 day, because that's the way I set it up. And if they do, then at 9:30 in the morning, according to what I have here, and you can choose from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m., but I've got it for 9:30 in the morning, she will send out all of those emails with those necessary buttons. Then we also have the campaigns, et cetera, and the end of day functions, but we're not going to concern ourselves with any of that right now. We're just talking about appointment reminders and confirmations. So this must be checked, this one here, confirmations and campaigns, and you must have a time in here. Then you can accept your changes and exit out, and Darcy's ready to go. But she can only run if she is in fact running. And there's a button here that says Run Darcy. Now, as long as Darcy is running, excuse me, as long as Darcy is running, then she's going to run every day, 365 days a year. But if you turned off the computer that Darcy is running on, then you must turn her back on. If you were in the cloud, you wouldn't have to do that because she's always running. But in the installed version, which is what you're using, you must click the Run Darcy button if you ever turn off this computer and then boot it back up. So you go into the software, go to Darcy, click on Run Darcy. And when you have Darcy running, you'll be able to find her in the lower right hand. This one says Darcy Bella Renaissance is running. And if you don't see her hit there, you should have a little arrow like this that will show your icons that are running. And one of them will be Darcy. If you cannot find Darcy running, and you can't find her in here, you can't find her down here, whatever it may be sure you press that button. Our technicians will make sure that you have the... Excuse me?
You have to do that every morning, Matt.
No, only if you turn off the computer.
Yeah.
And then reboot it. Because if you don't turn off the computer, then Darcy should be running all the time. And the simplest way to check, like I said, is just to go down and see whether or not she's running. If she's running, great. If she's not running, go in there and start her. But if you don't turn off your computer, and I'm not talking about shutting the software down. I'm talking about turning off the computer. If you turn off the computer, it turns off Darcy too. So when you turn the computer on and you launch the software, that does not start Darcy again. You must go in here and start Darcy again. But again, if you don't shut off your computer, then Darcy should run 7 days a week, 365 days a year.
So like it's best like we, for instance, keep the computer in the office running?
Well, it depends on which computer you have Darcy running on. If you have Darcy running on the back computer, then the front computers can be turned off. No problem. And you won't have to worry about whether or not Darcy's going to do her job.
Mm-hmm.
But if she's running on the back computer and you turn that one off, then yes, you must restart her before she's set to go off again.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay?
Right.
So the important thing here is not only to set her up, but make sure that she's running.
Yes.
So that's email reminders. The next thing that we're going to talk about is online booking. In order for online booking to work properly, you must have the online store up and running. So we click on this online button and we go through the process of setting up the store. Now let's go ahead and take a quick peek at your account here. Hang on just a second. I'm going to get your account number here. Bear with me just a moment while I pull you guys up. Okay, so your account number is 16173. And now I'm going to open up my online store. Let's go ahead and go back here. Get rid of those. Start up my online store, and I'm going to stick your number in here. 16173. Okay, so your online store is not set up. I can see that right now just by looking at this.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of the things that must be done in order for your online booking to work. So you said that you want to make sure that that's up and running before November 1st. Between now and then, we need to dial into your system and go over this with you and make sure that it's all set up properly. Once it's set up, then we can go into appointments and set up the online appointments feature. Now, there is a video on this. I'm going to send that video to you of a class that I did that all it does is talk about how to set this up. But even though you're going to get that video, I'm going to have somebody, maybe even me, dial directly into your system and make sure that your system is set up properly so that your online appointments work. And we're going to test it. We're going to book appointments online to make sure that they actually work. So for instance, let's take a look here. Let's look at Christian here at 1 o'clock. So we've got nothing going on for him right now. So let's go through our process here. Let me go ahead and relaunch my store. There we go. And let's go through our appointment booking process. So we log in with our username and password. Choose a group. We'll go with hair. And after your customer has chosen a particular group, they need to choose a service. I'm going to say a blow, dry, and curl. And then they get to choose the provider that they're interested in. And I'm going to choose Christian. I'm going to choose a date. I'm going to go with today's date, the 17th. And now I get to check available times for Christian on the 17th. So I'm going to say 1 o'clock because we already know he's got nothing there. 1 o'clock, blow, dry, and curl. And of course, your customers will only see times that are available. And then we'll continue to confirmation. So the information is here for a blow, dry, and curl at 1 o'clock on October 17th with Christian. And I'm going to book the appointment. So let's take a look. Let's go back into the software now. And let's look at that appointment book. And there it is. There's a blow, dry, and curl booked on the web by Bella with Christian at 1 o'clock. So it worked just fine. And so what we're going to do with yours is after we've set yours up, we're going to test it just like that. And we're going to make sure that your customers are able to book appointments online.
Great.
So again, that's something that we're going to have to dial into your system to make sure that it's set up properly.
Okay.
Okay.
So for the email reminders and the online booking, both of those, and I'm going to send you an email today for setting up both. There's two different videos. Those are classes that I've given before that I'm going to send to you so that you can refer back to them. They're going to cover more than just online booking and email reminders, but those portions will be in it as well, so you can just watch that portion if you like. Now, another thing that you wanted me to get for you were the hotkeys.
Yes.
And so I have asked development for a list of the hotkeys. They are compiling them for me, and they will get them to you.
Okay.
So, for instance, for instance, the appointment book here, not the appointment book, the point of sale here, I can choose a hotkey. And if I choose service and say, okay, I want to go with Christian, well, first let's pull up a customer. So we'll pull up a customer here like that. Now, if I choose service, it'll ask me who the provider is, and I can go with Christian, and then I could say what the service is and a blow, dry, and curl. So that's one thing. But if I clear that, and let's pull up the customer again, but this time I'm going to use a hotkey. I'm going to press F1, and that does the same thing as clicking on service. So then I can choose Christian, and I can do my service. So little hotkeys like that we're going to get you a list of. I have already asked development for a list of those and what they do in the different screens. Now, some of them do different things in different screens. For instance, when I hit F3 in the point of sale, it brings up my retail just as if I pressed this retail button. However, if I was in the main menu and I hit F3, it would be for clocking in. So some of the hotkeys duplicate themselves, but it depends on what screen is active.
Yep.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll get you that list, and because it can't just be a list of the keys, because like I said, some of them do different things based on what screen you're in. And so our development team is getting me a list of those, and you will have those emailed to you today.
Okay.
Was there anything else you wanted to cover before I sent you those emails? And before I let you go also, I need to schedule a time with you, Caroline, to dial directly into your system to make sure that your appointment reminders and confirmations are set up and that your online appointments are set up properly.
Yeah, and I just heard from Kim that what we had last week with the schedules for the staff, you know that on Thursday that it keeps on stuck on 3 a.m. That is happening again now with some stylists.
Okay, please make sure you get a list of those stylists. When we dial into your system, then not only will I be there to make sure that your Darcy and your online appointments are set up properly, but I will also make sure that a technician is available to look at those very issues. So please be sure that you have a list of the people that that's affecting so that they know exactly where to check to make sure that they get that problem resolved.
Yes, of course.
When do you think would be a good time for us to dial into the computer that's going to have Darcy set up on it?
When is it possible for you guys?
Well, it could be possible as early as tomorrow. Let me check.
Want alles reekt er ook. Alles reekt er ook.
Ja,
en de arts moet dat doen dat ze erin kunnen. Ja. Denk ik.
No, tomorrow it's no good. Okay, I already have a training set up with you for Thursday, October 19th at this same time.
Yeah.
We could do it. We could do that at this time.
Oh, that's fine. We do that. Of course, no problem.
Okay. So then Thursday, October 19th.
Yes. At 5:30
okay.
again, yes?
Yes, at 5:30 your time. Yes.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, absolutely. Let me go ahead and write that down in here. But this is Darcy for reminders, email, and online booking. Okay. Do you currently have a website?
Yes, we have.
Okay, what is your actual web address?
lifestylesalondeheek.nl.
Oh, okay, that's easy enough. That's just like your email addresses.
Yes.
Okay, no problem at all. All right, so then I'm going to have our graphics department. Now, you can always change these later, but I'm going to have our graphics department make up the banners for your online store so that your online booking looks right. And we'll get those sent to you as well so that those can be uploaded when we make sure that your Darcy and your online booking is set up. So we'll have the graphics department set those up for you, no problem.
Oh, that's fine. Thank you. And can you send everything to info and also to Rick, please?
Info and Rick.
Yes.
Absolutely, yes. Was there any other questions you wanted to go over today before I send those emails out to you? And later today, I will get the hotkey list to you. And then, of course, on the 19th, we're going to dial into your system instead of you dialing into ours.
Okay. But for now, we're fine. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much, Caroline. Have a great day.
Thank you very much, Matt.
Bye-bye.
Big help. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Dat is fantastisch, hè? En hun gaan ook wel dat stukje sms op